agenda.
Okay.
I'm just giving everybody a copy.
Oh,
It's not-
good. This is for
That-
I didn't know if we were broadcasting or not, because if we were, then I want to make sure they could hear it. So, sorry. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
This property has been a nuisance for a while. You can see the pictures. It's pretty bad. We were able today to dig around and figure out and get a phone number for the actual owner. He bought the house about 6 years ago on a tax sale. Well, he went there and there was a lady living in the house that wouldn't leave, and he didn't want the problem.
She couldn't get her car.
Well, she's left about a year ago. He didn't know the house was like this. He just quit going by there. We contacted him today. He went to the house. She's gone. He guaranteed it would be clean by next week, which I do believe it will, because he's going to try to start fixing the house up. I told him we'd get him to the end of next week, but I still want to do the resolution tonight because this has been an issue for so long that if he don't have it done, he knows if it's not done by next week, it's coming. And he didn't have any issue with that. He said he'd have it taken
No,
care
I
of.
agree with that. We'll just put an administrative hold on it, basically.
Yep.
I'm fine with that.
So, is he coming tonight, or did he indicate?
No, I told him we could speak. I don't think anybody will be here to speak on it but me. I mean, I say that and 15 people or so, but there never is.
Okay.
So, but it's bad. It does need to be rectified. But it's been this bad for so long since we only found him today. I don't think that giving him a week is unfair.
No.
So, let's see here. So, is it strictly a weed abatement here?
Well,
or are we doing most of that-
no. If we
those
hadn't found
cars?
him today,
Okay.
we were going to start a dangerous structure. But not only is he going to get it cleaned up on the outside, he is going to start the remodel on the home.
Okay.
So that will correct that.
All
But
right, that
that's
stuff in the side yard there, that vehicle and all that stuff propped up. Is he gonna
It's
take care of
just
that
the
too,
outdoor.
or what?
Yes, but right now the grass is the grass and the garbage is the biggest issue.
Tonight's hearing though is strictly for the
It's
grass,
strictly grass.
not the car,
No.
not the.
The other stuff has to go through the court.
Right, okay, all right,
That's fine. Yeah,
excellent, thanks for those.
we have a couple
updated
more of those, I
photos.
think, coming down the river, so that's fine.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so
We'll pass it and
Lost
just
my-
say, hey, we've been able to make contact, and we'll pass it, but the mayor.
well, I can tell them right now that Public Works schedule for mowing is, and it's true, is very, very backed up, so.
it may actually be a week before they get up there and do it
anyway.
Exactly,
Well,
so, if they,
correctly stated, we'll just say we're gonna put an administrative hold on it,
Yeah.
so.
I got a cheat sheet somewhere around here.
And then just another note on that, the owner actually, when he went to the property today, he spoke to the neighbors, and one of them was the main one doing the complaining.
Oh,
He
good,
told him he was gonna get it taken care of, so I don't think we'll have any issue.
Wonderful.
okay.
Going north on 75 on the left, it's one of those residential side streets.
You pass it.
You
on your
pass
way
it
home.
every day.
Aspen Ridge.
All right, so let's continue on here. So we've got couple of questions for council, see if there's any objections. Ronnie Dixon from the Chamber of Commerce would like to host a candidate forum over at the Rock School Complex Auditorium. He would like to do one for the city council candidates on August the 4th. He'd like to do one for the mayoral candidates on August the 11th. This has been traditionally held over there over the years. It's not uncommon on there, but I did want to ask and see whether or not there was any objections to us allowing them to use the building. So.
August 11th was the mayoral.
Yes, yeah. So does anybody have any issues about, going to be at no charge or whatever?
No,
It's
it's a
pretty much just a
community
community
building, so-
scenario. Okay,
No problem.
okay. John, you good with that?
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
You might be one of the moderators this year, so you never know. Be careful. All right, let's see here. I'll talk a little bit about I've reached back out to AlDOT again. I'll talk a little bit about that and about this major clog that they're creating by closing the ramps on 59 at the very same time, which I realize the county and the state probably don't talk very much, but the closure of Old Springville Road and then the ramp closure at the same time is is creating a nightmare right out in our, literally
Absolutely.
out in our driveway, so, that's gonna be a problem. Tonight was, we were going to have, Dr. G was gonna try to come and, talk to us about some of the things and bring us an update. He had to go out of town, so he's gonna come at our next meeting on August the 7th. He's already put us on his calendar. So we'll try to let folks know he's gonna be doing some explaining. I think that's the first day of class.
Yep.
Let's see here. Let's see. All right, so I don't know if Taurus is gonna be here tonight or not, but she gave me, and I'll get a copy of this. Marie, can you make us a copy of these things right here? So she's got some proposals together, and I'll try to run through these during the meeting, for senior activity ideas. I know that there's been some discussion in the public about these things, and again, this has already been being worked on. She's fleshed this out here for us to have, and I knew council probably want to see this too. So anyway, she stapled it together, so we'll have to unstaple. But if you'll make everyone a copy of that. There's a cover letter there on that. She's basically asking for which I know we would, our support in the area of being able to bring some of these activities together. So this gives a list of what she's thinking and what might be possible. And so, like I say, I want to let everybody know what was going on. So I'll run through a little bit of that there too. Let's see here. I'll mention this. I know that you guys had some discussion about the beavers and everything. I know that the ALDOT has removed one of the beaver dam that's under Highway 75. They've removed that again, and the water has dropped as you go past
CVS.
Yeah, what refers to as the CVS swamp, I believe, which actually includes some City of Pinson property, by the way. Ours is submerged, or was submerged. It is receded, so it's back down more into its normal banks, if you happen to look over there. I'm sure the beavers are being very busy, and they're probably working as we speak every night, trying to get it stopped back up again. But at the moment, at least, it's cleared. Mr. Yeager continues to go in every few days and remove a little bit more on what I call the upper dam that's underneath
The south side, if you will.
Yeah, under the railroad
Okay, good.
area.
I was wondering if we'd had any update.
Yeah, and if you've driven by there, you've seen it's kind of coming down on the road out
Yeah.
here on Main Street and all.
But they continue to go periodically and.
Yes, just every few days, he's back over there and they'll pull a
Wonderful.
little bit more. I'm sure the beavers are not happy, because not only does he remove what they've done that night, he goes down another
Good.
little layer more, so we're gradually bringing the thing on down.
That's right.
So-
Yeah.
Well, they're looking out into all that dead wood, and they're going, well, we've got
That's
plenty of
right.
replacement parts, but the problem is that we don't really want to have that in
No.
there. We had a meeting today of the Jefferson County Greenways Commission, and the guys have put this together. I'll put it up on the screen for the public to be able to see. This is a brochure that they handed us out on the Jefferson County Greenways for us, that was specifically made for the Southern Legislative Conference that's taking place this weekend. And so it's usually by the Speaker of the House. He kind of gets to pick where things are going to be, and they're going to be having it downtown at the Sheraton, I believe is where they're meeting. They have family and stuff coming in from the legislative delegations, and all are coming into town. And they have got tours and things lined up and events taking place, and they're doing them at the parks that are part of the Jefferson County Greenways. And they'll be out here on Monday, which that's the day the park is closed to the public. They're going to be out here Monday morning, family and legislators touring and enjoying Turkey Creek Nature Preserve. So the nice thing is that they've been working diligently about maintaining state funding and stuff for this. What a better way to do it than to actually get the legislative folks to come up and tour Turkey Creek. Many of these folks will be from different parts of the state, and they've never been to Turkey Creek before. So anyway, I thought y'all would enjoy seeing this and the fact that we're on the radar with these guys. Oh, let's see. I think that was the scoop for that. So that's the mini version of that one. On this budget scenario thing right here, so I've gone back and done a couple of different things have transpired since our budget meeting. One thing is the staff has continued to be diligently loading in the data, all the transactions and everything, so that we can get the most current information. I've gone back and adjusted these numbers based on the most current information that we received. Most everything is now in the system except for, there might be some outstanding things in the month of June that still haven't been loaded in, but everything else looks like it's actually in play. So if you look close, what I've done is I know we had some discussion about the reserves and a contingency fund. So what I did was I basically went in down here, and if you look at the very bottom, so the thing that's on page 2, I apologize for it looks a little, the coloring looks a little weird, but I hit the scan button a while ago, and the first thing it did was wadded up page 2, so Quintisha helped pull us out of the weeds there on that thing. So anyway, it's given a little shading that wasn't intended. If you look at the very, very bottom of the page down there, it'll say City of Pinson surplus, $497,000. So I put in parentheses down here. The software defaults and says deficit, so if there was a deficit, it would be in parentheses indicating it's a negative number. It's not a deficit, so you can strike that out. The next line is the word contingency. So basically what I'm saying is since the state requires us to have the 10% rule, that can be the contingency. So I'm pretty much just listed it as that rather than having it in the other. And the reason why is if we don't have enough money to be able to, add the other stuff in there. So if I put us in another contingency, then we probably wouldn't have enough to meet the 10% rule. So
No, I think that meets everything we suggested, I believe. So thank you, Mayor, for
what
editing
But
that.
that's just based on this revenue, right?
that is
These
correct.
expenses for this year. That's not counting what we have in the bank.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is, yes, that was the other thing. I'm glad you pointed that out because that was what, I removed that segment there where it had the rollover aspect and everything. That's not shown here anymore. I've removed that based on y'all's feedback. And then, and again, I've adjusted the other numbers based on actual realized numbers that on the funds that we received.
Now, did you show any vehicle or or road money transfers, or did we need it to make the contingency?
I did not use those in that,
Okay, that's fine.
which we probably could use that, but I
No, that's
did
fine.
not.
That'll be gravy, so
Okay.
to speak.
Yeah,
That'll be gravy.
Above and
we're
beyond.
covered by this, and anything that we do above and beyond this is covered by the things that we have
Sure.
already.
Reimbursements or
Yeah.
whatever,
Correct.
yeah.
So, okay, but I don't have any, now, to clarify, I don't have any expenses in here for the road
No,
and
no,
bridge
that's
and
fine.
everything either. I pulled that out.
That's
It still
fine.
has a little note up there, pulled that out. I don't show the budget stuff for those others because we haven't really put together a capital scenario there on that. But we will, to approve the budget,
Right.
we will get you some numbers and then have those figures included. Basically, will be revenue estimates.
Sure.
That's pretty much, unless somebody already has an idea of a bridge or road project we're fixing to do. The, one other thing of note is that, I think I mentioned in the budget meeting, we did not have a line item in the past specifically for employer taxes. And so, we're not exactly sure what happened, but it was not in there. It's been coming out of the wages, category. So what I've done is these numbers may seem like a little bit of a bigger jump than what you might have anticipated, but what's happened is that I've included in those taxes. So now when you look at a section in here, let's see here, I'll just pick one at random here. Public works, salaries and wages, you'll see down there, you'll see the number, last year's and this year's. This current year, the new year we've just entered, proposed budget, includes the amount needed to cover the employer's tax. Correct, the FICA stuff.
As long as it's in there.
Yeah, well, like I say, we're trying to cover everything that we know about to go ahead and have it in here. Again, because the more accurate and the more info we have in there, the more valuable the feedback will be from the software. The staff would be able to, once we approve this, put this into the system, and then we can do those budget versus actual reports for you guys to see and track and see how things are rolling along, so. I was very pleased with the sales tax revenue. I know there were some questions about that. We still don't have all the numbers in for the month of June, but all the way through the month of May was already at just slightly under $3 million. So we had estimated the 3.2. It may come in at that, depending on how good a month the month of June was. So for that reason, I didn't get extravagant, but for that reason, I've done a little bit of an increase there in anticipation for the coming year. We still got a few minutes, so was there any
I'll-
thoughts or things about this? I know,
I'll offer it unless somebody has another amendment.
well, I didn't know, she had mentioned about it being a first reading here on the
Please,
thing,
if you
so.
don't-
Yeah, no, that's what I say, because I mean, this is the first time the public's been able to
Okay.
see anything either, so.
That's fine, that's fine.
But I'm definitely interested in any feedback or anything anybody might have as far as to where we stand. And if you have immediate feedback, this is a great time to mention it.
That handles everything I remember from our work session. And yeah, the FICA, that's fine. I think it's appropriate to build it in by category,
Yeah.
so.
So I did note, since you mentioned that real quick,
Okay.
hang on, where did I see this? I know I just saw it somewhere.
You're good. Like I said, we got a few minutes, so we don't have to be under the rush.
I could have sworn I saw employer taxes somewhere else up here, separate from the wages.
Let's see if there
Oh, no, okay, that's RSA employer, never mind.
Okay.
I was looking up.
Crystal clear.
Let's see, there is one other thing that, again, work session oriented. Marie, did you already speak to everyone about these?
I did.
She did.
Okay,
I
about
did.
these training
And
things.
Hoyt said, because the election will be over, even the runoff, the October ones, if there's a new council, mayor, whatever, it won't be a problem for the city to pay for it because they are pre-elected.
As long as the league will put them in the system, I don't think there's a bit of an
Right,
issue
we
with
could-
us paying.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
they're just a month away.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
my thought.
So
Yeah.
would they, so we think we can probably get them in as members, even though they're sort of members in waiting,
Right,
so to speak?
right.
Okay,
Members elect, right,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay. All right, well, that'd be good, because I know that those locations are much more convenient than some of the later ones.
Yeah, now what, let me see. What is, I always forget the hours mixed up because they have so many.
I don't know if that gives you, I think it said 10 CMO.
What is the new rule?
It's
I haven't.
For the total required?
Yeah,
It's
for the-
25.
For the newly elected, within what period of time? Do you remember?
Is it the first year? Marie?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's the first year.
I think it is the
Okay.
first year. And just so everybody knows, the clerks were told in one of our trainings, maybe back in December, that training for elected officials is gonna be mandatory now.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's what you're talking,
Yeah.
yeah, yes. So, you know, just so everybody knows, they're gonna have to make time to train. I don't know if they're gonna offer online opportunities or some of these CMO things online, but,
They
Well,
have
I'm s-
9 classes
Well, yeah,
available
all the
online right
basic
now.
core,
Okay.
advanced, online.
Okay.
Hopefully they won't change some of that stuff around. I'm,
I don't
and there's
think they
been
will, 'cause they
complaints
just
about everybody
opened-
going, where's Birmingham?
They did a renovation and it's now through, is it the Alabama Association of something, but they're actually using a school. Cause they do it through Canvas, kinda like I use for my schooling. And so what you do is you buy it on the league and they send you a login
Okay.
And the courses will travel with you, and it, sends it back. You put in your ALM number, and then they'll put it on your certificate.
Oh, cool.
But it's pretty nice.
So
I've done
do
like
they
4 or
have
5
that
courses.
orientation training on there as well?
They have mayor and council bidding, what we can spend our money on, public, open meetings.
But that's core classes.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that's not
but-
this
That's not
orientation.
Yeah.
this orientation.
Okay.
Yeah, this is kind of what I call the greatest hits version.
Yeah.
Of course, most of us have to hear the same thing over and over in order to really learn something, and it becomes second nature. So it's good to kind of get your feet wet, especially for new folks on this, and then do that deep dive like what you have to do at the convention or online stuff. Let me think here. Was there anything else that, I think that was pretty much the scoop. I was trying to remember if, we'll let, Chris, I know you wanted to speak, during the time on there also. Okay, let's go ahead. We'll just go ahead and adjourn then if there's no more, budget questions or anything, and we'll crank up at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Oh, I'll also say this, I won't say this in the meeting. We did receive a thank you letter from the Class Tran folks, in appreciation for the money that we sent them, to help out. I have seen several Class Tran buses since, since we gave them the money. I don't know if they're driving more or not. Now,
I know.
Funny how you
I know,
started on
ask
this
them.
stuff and you all of a sudden see it everywhere.
This says 10 hours every year, is that right?
What, on the CMO?
Yeah, the newly elected, this says 10 hours every year until you hit 40, and then it's 5 after that, is that
So,
right?
I don't know, but
Okay.
we can check it to be sure. If that's on their website, I would
Let's see
think.
here.
Where did you see the 25?
No, that was for the basic
Okay.
training, like for
we
the, not
get
the
this
20,
all
it's
working?
40, I
Which one we
believe,
do?
for
Well,
the basic
right.
certification, but for, he's right, if you're new, it's 10, but if you're seasoned, it's 5 for the year.
Okay,
Yeah.
total, gotcha.
No, everything we took is already there. No. If you're already,
So I
if
think
you're
all
already,
the-
whatever you
because,
have,
of course,
like if
we've
you're
all
already
done
CMO,
a
let me
term.
see here.
It'll be 5 for us,
Gotcha.
yeah, if I read it correctly now.
Okay, here it is, if y'all, from, beginning January 25, in their first term,
10,
hang on, this is, wait a minute, must complete 10 hours of training for a total of 40 in their first term. So that's the basic, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's, yeah,
Then after that, you still have to do 5 a year.
to maintain.
Correct. But, there's some exemptions if you
I've been focusing on the basic.
already have the CMO and advanced,
Yeah.
and I won't bore y'all with all that. So it's 10 a year.
Not 25, yeah.
I wasn't sure, I
think
didn't
I'm
know,
like
I'll be
every
honest.
5 hours off.
Yeah.
to do the basic.
But
So I
you
know
already, if
that's-
you already
I
have
know
it, that
that's-
counts. So if you already have your CMO, you're gonna be 5 a year from now on. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So you're 5 a year from now on. And then I need to read the bill to make sure. Yeah, okay, if you've already, if you've completed, I lost it. All officials who have completed their 40 hours
Did you give us my copy back?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, good. Too many things on here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started this evening. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Pinson City Council for July the 17th, 2025 at this time. We will please stand for the invocation, which will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
We will remember the Allen family. Most of you know Mike Allen, the face of Food Giant, passed away this morning, so we'll remember their family. Join with me. Lord, thank you so much for the freedom to be here, to vote, to do all the things that we do that are not enjoyed in so many places. Lord, we do remember and lift the Allen family tonight, longtime member and such a vital part of our community and supportive of everything. And we'll remember them tonight, and give us your wisdom in everything else that we do. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Madam Clerk, can we have the roll call, please?
Counselor Irvin?
Here.
Counselor Walker?
Here.
Counselor Sanders?
Here.
Counselor Churchwell?
Here.
Counselor Kirkland? Here. Mayor Roberts?
Here. I'll entertain a motion concerning the minutes from July the 3rd.
Yes, I would like to offer a motion to approve and waive the reading of the minutes for July 3rd as written.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments or anything about those minutes?
No?
If not, all in favor of approval say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So we're set on that right there. Let's move on now to committee chair reports. And Ms. Irvin, I believe we've got a few bills.
Yes, I would like to offer a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $72,558.32.
Second.
Motion and a second there on that. So was there anything on there that needed to be pointed out?
We paid our deputies, that's the largest, the $30,000, as well as we paid for some insurance, that was $5,000.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, or concerns on that? If not, let's see, did we get the motion in the second, Madam Clerk?
We did.
All in favor of approving that payment of the bills, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So we're good to go with that. All right. Next, we're going to move on to some planning and zoning information. And so what we're going to do is Chris, did you want to speak first before I have the hearing, or do the hearing first? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open up a public hearing concerning an abatement that needs to be looked at 4803 Vice Road. If anyone would like to speak concerning this abatement, this is the time that you could come forward. Please state your name and address and your concerns. I'm not seeing anyone moving there on that, so at this time I'll close the public hearing and ask Mr. Sherritt to come up and share with us a little bit about what's going on over on Vice Road.
This property, this abatement is for the weed and grass only, not for the other stuff, not for the cars and the thing that has to go through the court. We got several complaints. It's been going on for a while. We posted it, done everything, but today we were able to contact the owner. The first time we've been able to contact the owner in over a year. This was, I own the house, but I had a squatter inside of my home deal going on. But then we spoke to him today. He went out to the property. The squatter's gone. He's going to get it cleaned up. I told him he had to the end of next week to get it cut, or we were going to do it. So I want to go ahead and do the resolution tonight. I mean, we've waited, it's been this long, what's another week to give him the opportunity to do it and let him fix the house that he bought? Again, and it would probably take, if we put it on the schedule now, it would probably be after next week before the guys can get out there to get it cut anyway.
We have a lot of grass growing in our normal cycle and on the medians and everything else, and Public Works is, I'm sure they'll be willing to knock it out, but I hope the homeowner is able to knock it out first, so.
He's gonna move it, he's gonna move the car and the car moves it off.
Great. Was there any thoughts about this before I'll open it up if someone would like to put forward this resolution?
So moved.
So we've got a resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, I'll let you decide. That was a simultaneous event. Basically, this is a resolution that is declaring a public nuisance related to the overgrown weeds and grass at the 4803 Vice Road. This will allow the city to go in and do this cleanup should the owner not get it cleaned up before we get there. We're going to give them a little bit of time, like I said, to put it on our agenda anyway. But if they should fail to follow through with what they've told Mr. Sherritt, the city workers will be in there getting that cleaned on up. So, Madam Clerk, can we do a roll call vote on this, please?
Counselor Irvin?
Yes.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Sanders?
Yes.
Counselor Churchwell?
Yes.
Counselor Kirkland?
Yes.
Mayor Roberts?
Yes. So that passes unanimously as Resolution 25-16. And hopefully the owner will be out there with their mowing equipment. I've always said it's a lot cheaper to do it yourself than it is to have our professional crew come in. And unfortunately, we have a little extra overhead and other things we have to add on. So do it yourself.
I bet the neighbors are gonna be happy.
Yes, I think so too.
I
Absolutely.
think they're gonna have a block party.
All right, let's move on to the mayor's report. We got a lot of stuff going on in the area and several different things. First off is that the Chamber of Commerce has asked about using the Rock School Complex on August the 4th and again on August the 11th for a candidate forum. So the candidates, I believe they were invited earlier today or late yesterday, were invited to participate in this. We don't know what the participation is yet, but on August the 4th, it will be a forum for those running for city council, and on August 11th for those that are running for the office of mayor. So again, that'll be over in the Rock School Complex Auditorium. I'm not sure what the start time's gonna be, so stay posted it'll be in the evening, but we'll find out from Ronnie what time that's gonna be. Let's see, next, I'm sure everybody has, I'm sorry, 6:30, great, got that information. So 6:30 on both those evenings, August 4 and August 11. I'm sure everybody's been following very closely and seen the signs. If you go over on Jockville Mountain Road, everybody's seeing where the ramps are gonna be closed on one side of the freeway going on to I-59. You won't be able to leave and go over, if you're leaving Pinson and getting on the freeway, you won't be able to get on it going toward Birmingham. So also I'm sure everyone who drives around here is familiar with the fact that the road on Old Springville, the bridge replacement that's taking place over there got Old Springville Road closed between let's see, Jockville Mountain Road and over here in our area. So I don't know that they did this, but I would not be surprised to find out that the county did not coordinate with the state regarding when they would be having these significant roads closed. So basically what that means is that the Deerfoot Parkway exit will be open, so people probably will end up using that as their backup, but you can't come down Old Springville Road and get on Sweeney Hollow and come on into town. You pretty much are going to have to come down Bud Holmes and Doug Hollow Road in order to be able to get through. And everyone around here knows how great the traffic with no turn signal, no turn lane, incredibly short timing cycles, especially during rush hour. Our light right out here by City Hall is at certain times of the day. Well, guess what? We get even more traffic on that because of the fact that these two roads are going to be closed simultaneously. So I've reached out again to ALDOT. I did have a nice conversation with them earlier this week. They are getting with the the construction crew to see whether or not they had factored in changing lights this far away, about what kind of deal they've got. I told them, I said, well, I hope they have. It would be great. If they haven't, please get out here and let's get this taken care of before next Monday. So do be aware that at least I've already pre-told them this thing it was bad before, it's just gonna be awful if they don't get it fixed. If you happen to be, if they do get it repaired or corrected, if you're traveling down 75, you might have to wait a little bit longer for a change to let all this extra traffic flow through on Main Street. Dr. Goslin from the Board of Education, he would like to have been here tonight, but he had to adjust his schedule a little bit, but he will be joining us on August the 7th. So that's our next council meeting. So he looks forward to coming and talking to us about several things that have been going on. We've got some new staff members. We've got some new programs, some new things that they're planning on doing. Mr. Sanders, I think you had mentioned some of the stuff that they were
Well, they
talking about
mentioned
doing.
at chamber meeting before last about some capital improvements coming our way, but I'll let him be more finite when
Okay.
he visits us.
Excellent. So anyway, we look forward to having him come. Ms. Woodruff is also planning on coming down and meeting with us too. The new principal, we know her, of course, but she's been in our area for the last 9 years, but she wants to come down too and be able to say hi and meet the council and the public. Again, I think that's the first day of school, but she's also very excited about being up there, and she was really excited earlier today about the progress that they're making. So we're fired up about that. So anyway, it'll be a little bit of an education feature, I believe, on August 7th. Next up is let's talk a little bit about the Park and Rec Department and the seniors program. I passed out to council a letter here from Ms. Piles, our new Park and Rec Director. If y'all will give me the liberty, I think I'd like to just read some of this because I think that kind of would share with the public. Everybody good with that? The letter's to us, but I think so. She says, I'm writing this, again, this is to myself and the council, writing this to emphasize the vital importance of establishing and funding a senior citizens program within our community. As our population ages, it becomes increasingly essential to provide dedicated resources and support to ensure our senior residents maintain active, healthy, and fulfilling lives. A robust senior citizen program offers numerous benefits, including social engagement, access to health and wellness activities, educational opportunities, and transportation services. These initiatives help combat loneliness, improve mental and physical health, and foster a sense of community among older adults. She says funding such a program would not only enhance the quality of life for our seniors, but also promote community cohesion and reduce long-term health care costs by encouraging preventive care and active lifestyles. Moreover, supporting our seniors demonstrates a compassionate and forward-thinking approach to community development. She says, I urge the City Council to consider the importance of investing in our senior citizens and to allocate appropriate funds toward establishing and maintaining this essential program. Together, we can create an inclusive environment where our seniors feel valued, supported, and empowered. I think she's actually hoping we'll give her some more money there. I'm not sure if that was the implication, but I do know that she wants to put it on the radar. They may need more funding. Of course, we're going to start out and gradually ramp our way up. We're not planning on going with a full-blown senior citizens program right off the chute, right out of the chute, but we're going to at least get things started. She's also provided a listing of some of the senior activities ideas. Again, as I mentioned when she came and joined our staff, these are some things that she's done in the past. She has experience in this particular area, which was another reason why we really are keen on having her join the team here in Pinson. She has things such as morning exercise, music, where we actually would have music where people could come in and listen, social outings, something here where she calls the kitchen capers. That's kind of a weekly activity where they make the snacks and the pizzas and stuff. We've got some really nice kitchen facilities. We could be using that. Crafts, time at the park specifically for seniors, games, a deal on our website that would include something called the Resident of the Month. So we could kind of, people as they retire and all, they kind of want to still have interaction. People need to know more about some of our seniors in town. Gives them a chance to kind of do some featuring of these folks. So that would be great. Supervised nature walks. Fixing to talk a little bit about Turkey Creek, so they could do something like that over there. And then something here called the It's Never Too Late. And this right here says it's engaging in activities together on a computer system that is specifically geared toward seniors. So we actually would do stuff where they're doing computer stuff with senior citizens. She has ideas there about being able to get grant funding and things to be able to put some of these programs in place, get us exercise equipment through grants and other sorts of things. So again, we may have to do some matching funds and perhaps look at some reallocation, but she has some great ideas on that. She also has something here, a club that she'd like to propose, and I won't go into all the details on that. I'll save some of that for her, but basically the name of it is called the Growing Young Club. So it would require a small membership fee to be paid monthly by the participants, but what you get back is tremendous. And a lot of this, especially when you get into federal grant funding and that sort of thing, they have to maintain very good records about who's participating and whether or not they're eligible and that sort of thing. So some of this is really more for accounting purposes and to allow people to be able to, us to be able to get the funding in place. So once that, we would definitely want to be keeping track of what was happening with that. So again, I wanted to let everybody know that, again, seniors programs has been something that I've been big on for many years. We did used to have a senior program pre-COVID. It was very popular. It was a small program, but it was still very popular. And we want to get that up and going, and I believe we've got the right person in place to make it happen.
I kind of like that poker tournament.
Wait a minute, now I didn't see that. Now where, is that on the Never Too
It's on the
Young Club?
Senior
thing?
Citizens Activities, the Growing Young Club.
Long as it meets.
Okay, I started to say,
Poker
I didn't read
tournament.
that one off. Maybe I
Long as
gotta
it
be
meets the
careful.
approval of our public safety director, right?
That's it,
for-
that's
for-
exactly it. Is that under games? No,
That's
okay,
right.
yeah, okay.
Activities, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
She
glad-
does say bingo days, but I think she means standard
poker
bingo,
tournament.
not
Legal
bing-
bingo,
Yes.
right. Yeah, I'm glad to see her take an interest, not to bore the viewers with too much code, but nutrition for the elderly is one of the very narrow exceptions to the food funding ability that a city has. One of the very, very narrow allowances that we have that we can do that. So I'm glad to see our new director taking an interest in that.
Any other thoughts or, okay, anybody, some of us will actually be eligible very quickly to participate in these programs, so.
And some of us won't.
You better hope you guys get there someday.
That's it. All right, so again, we thank TP for that.
She did a good job on this.
Yes.
So, next is, I wanted to say a couple things. Eric, can you put, this, Chris sent over earlier this brochure here from the Jefferson County Greenways. We'll see whether or not we can share this right here. So this basically is a foldable, so what you're seeing there is, let's see, that's actually the inside. Did you get the second page? Is that the only one we got? Okay, there's actually two sets. That's the most important part, is the part that you're able to see on the screen. So earlier today, we had the quarterly meeting of the Jefferson County Greenways Committee, and so, Commission, I'm sorry, not committee. And at that meeting, they brought up the fact that this year, the Southern Legislative Conference is being held here in Birmingham. And so the family members and the legislators from around the state will be coming in and having classes and doing things over this weekend. And they have been invited, and so they will be coming and touring and enjoying the activities that are available at the three parks that are part of the Greenways. The Red Mountain Park, the Ruffner Mountain Park, and of course the Turkey Creek Nature Preserve. And the preserve is closed on Mondays, but this coming Monday, the legislators, their families, and will be coming out and enjoying Turkey Creek. And many of these folks are not from around these parts. They've never been to Turkey Creek before, and it's going to give them a chance to be able to see the beauty that we have here in Pinson. Obviously, I've been able to, this is a state organization that was put together and received state funding. We were able to get some state funding again this year in the current budget. We want that to continue, so we want to be able to show the legislators what we're actually doing so we can stay on a line item down there. And this will give them a chance to get to see it firsthand, what we've got going on. So I wanted you guys just to know that, again, when things are right under our nose, many times we tend to take them for granted, but the fact is that Turkey Creek is something that's very big, and becoming more and more well-known outside our area. So the VIPs are coming to check us out. So again, it's a very nice brochure they put together specifically for the conference attendees. Let's see here. The last thing I wanted to say was during today's meeting, there was some discussion concerning the events that have taken place recently here in Pinson with regard to the rising waters that we've seen and our friendly furry mammal friends, the beavers. And so basically, I was just going to give you all a little bit of an update. We spoke, I know I put something up on Facebook a few weeks ago before I left town, and and I think y'all may have discussed it some again at the last council meeting, but the Mr. Yeager, who used to be the director out at the Turkey Creek, he's now still with the Greenways Commission. He's moved up in a higher realm there, but he's basically the resident biology genius that we have. Of course, he's been working for quite some time concerning this rising water and the beaver situation that we've had, and he has been able to make progress. They had him, and then he had to get permission, of course, from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife folks who came out and did an inspection and said, yes, we've definitely got a problem. We need to take action to begin to lower the water levels. So Mr. Yeager's been coming out every 1 to 2 days and monitoring the situation out here, and has been gradually removing the beaver dam that is located under the old railroad trestle. So that's actually that's the dam that causes the water that you'll see here along Bud Holmes Road, just right up the street here, that's been coming up into the backyards of the individuals' houses. That particular dam, and if you saw on our website, it's a couple of large pipes that are going underneath the old railroad trestle. The beavers are very smart. They said, wait a minute here, if we build a dam just inside these pipes, we get the efficiency of a giant lake basically being formed. And so Charles has been gradually removing that so that the water level will recede. We don't want a sudden surge. We didn't want flooding downstream, nor did we want to potentially strand a bunch of the vermilion darters that live up in that particular area. So it's nice to report that the water levels are already going down in that, but it is a gradual process. The ALDOT has come in and cleaned out the other one that's located, and those guys are really rascals. They build their beaver dam approximately about the equivalent of where the median is between the north and the southbound lanes of the Highway 75. Makes it quite difficult for them to get up inside there and to remove it. But they have removed that, and the water has receded down. It's now back to what I would call the normal levels of the channels that were put in there many years ago. So again, at least we have a place now for the water that comes from the upper dam to be able to get to and flow on it back into Turkey Creek where it belongs. So again, just want to publicly thank Charles and the Greenways Commission folks for their work. He was able to get a federal grant to put in something that's known as a beaver deceiver, which is basically a special pipe with a special basket that goes on the end that prevents beavers from being able to build a dam around it. It pretty much rises and falls. They're not smart enough to figure that out. In other words, a beaver cannot dam up something like the bottom of your shower stall. They wouldn't be able to do it. It must be water that's flowing for them to dam it up. So this would solve that problem. So again, that will be going in sometime over the coming months. It is a logistical nightmare to get out there and get this work done because it's pretty marshy, and about the only way in and out is on the old railroad trestle. So anyway, they're continuing to work on that. We did discuss that. I talked with the Parks Superintendent. He's over all the parks. I talked to him today. He wanted us to thank the folks here in Pinson for helping him out and helping Charles out with our being able to get this fixed. And they will also try to work with some folks. Eric, I know we'd mentioned that offline. Work with them concerning about getting the proper equipment out here to be able to open that up. So he's very appreciative of that. Let's see here. That is pretty much it for the mayor's update. Next is some old business concerning the 2024-20, no, I'm sorry, it needs to be 2025-26 budget. And I know we've entered into a new fiscal year. What you see on the screen here, now we had a budget work session, and during that budget work session, we had a lot of discussion and some explanation about where we're headed based on the fact that we have new software in place, trying to eliminate some confusion regarding the allocations and where things are going. So we've kind of compressed, if you were to look at last year's budget and then look at the proposed one for this year, you would say, hey, wait a minute, they've removed a lot of line items here. We basically tried to compress these down so that it'd make it a little bit more easier for council and the public to be able to understand. But know that the information will eventually still be there. The details will be behind the scenes in the software. I don't want to get too technical tonight, but basically there are account numbers over here on the left. I won't try to explain them to everybody, but they basically allow us to be able to track things within departments and within the various areas that are taking place. So I'll give you a little quick example here. I didn't print it out, I got it on my screen. But let's see if I look up here. Let's say that if you were to look at the Park and Rec, let's roll back up there on the Park and Rec revenue. Let's see, go back up to the top. Let's see if we can see it. Let's see, it is right there, Park and Recreation registration fees. And so you see that right there. Before, we used to have a separate line item for football, one for softball, one for basketball, one for soccer, you name it, we had a different one down there. Now we've just basically lumped them all together because everybody was like, okay, this is getting to be a little bit complicated. We had the same thing in all these other ones where you would end up having the multiple line items within inside of those. So anyway, and it's even more important on the outflow side. So roll on down and let's take a look at some of the outflow. So let's look at, let's see here. Okay, so we've got Public Works, and you'll see right there where it says Public Works. So now we've gone down to 3 central categories on there. One of them says Public Works - salaries and wages, Public Works operations, and then Public Works capital expense. So what I've tried to do here is, and these numbers are reflective of what's happened in the past, previous years, and expenses that we've had. So we've been trying to get some things together for as far as for where these numbers came from. But now everything is all combined together within these categories. Now some of them you'll see are a little bit more. If you look down here under public safety, you'll see that there are a little bit more exploded operations in there because we've got the fire district stuff. I decided rather than having, or I should say we, because we've all met together and discussed this, discuss the moving some of the items that we had that were kind of in a general council form to move these underneath public safety where appropriate. And of course, the fire department stuff is a matter of public safety, so it made sense to move that underneath there. So one other little quick update note was that during our budget discussion, we found that the employer taxes were not reflected in the budget in the past, and so these numbers do include the addition of employer taxes that are obviously need to be paid. So those numbers are slightly larger than what they were in the initial proposal in order to reflect the necessity of those employer-based taxes. So is there this is basically a first reading tonight, so let the public, I know this might be the first time the public's been able to have a chance to actually look at this proposed budget. But if there's any council comments about the budget, love to hear anything. So I'll be quiet for a minute.
As Mr. Sanders said earlier, in pre-council. I think you've touched on everything that we discussed and adjusted as we agreed on. So, you know, other than just kind of looking over the numbers, I think we're in good shape. Numbers look good just from the bottom line.
I agree.
Well, I took the feedback from the council regarding some of the, of course, like you say, when you're doing accounting, there are always different ways of doing things. I took the feedback from the council during that meeting, and I've reflected those requests back into this latest proposal. Anyone else? It's a talkative bunch.
No, well, I'll
So it's the
mention since
last item on the agenda, so feel
since
free to
we
speak.
do have time, some of you might see on our bill schedule the various cash that we have, and particularly really about the last 5 or 6 items. I just want the public to understand that some of our revenue is very specific, particularly those that relate to gasoline tax. And those must be used, I won't go into all which account can be used for what. That's part of our league training that we have annually. But just I want the public to be aware that those road funds or gasoline funds do have very particular purposes. Most recently, we were talking about the 10 cent, which is the Rebuild Alabama, that we've been using on industrial road projects. So that's just a little FYI that some of the public might appreciate, knowing that that's the reason we have so many checking accounts, is they're legally required, quite frankly. And you can't, as the code says, can't commingle any of those funds. So library is another example. Those that come in for library have to be spent in library. So any rate, if you see those various accounts, those are legally required, quite frankly.
Excellent.
I'm all in.
Sounds good. Appreciate that. All right, well, that's everything we have under, and that was under old business, because obviously we've been discussing that before. There was no new business that I'm aware of tonight. So what we would like to do now is kind of gave the department head there for public, the Park and Recs scenario. Eric, I believe you got some stuff there you wanted to share with us. Got that exciting news about our new website and all.
Okay, so you all know we changed IT providers a year ago. We were in the process of changing all of our IT over to them and different facets of it. This is the web page that our previous provider would not provide the proprietary information to be able to manage it, for us to manage it, and it was very cumbersome for the staff, for us to add, take away, whatever, slide up and down, go ahead and go through the and what you see here is the, if you type in pinsonal.gov. So as we started this process, our URL used to be thecityofpinson.com. I guess in February, March, the mayor came back and they wanted to change our URL to a more, what they considered a secure.gov, easier for us to find, more, So we embarked on that, and all this had to take place at the same time. The email addresses, the web page, everything had to roll over at the same time. So I put a lot of time and brain work in it. But our IT company is fantastic, and I leaned heavily on them. They are great. Great to work with. But what you see here, Jaleesa, click on the sports registration. So as you hit these links, it'll open up. That's our Park and Rec page. We're able to register for sports, rent a facility, pay for it online. You can close that up. It show, as you'll see. Yeah, there you go. Now go to the calendar. Let's see. And just slide up and down. Just slide up and down the page. There you go. There you go. All right, see, there it is right there. What you'll see here as we populate there's a lot of aspects of this website that they provided for us that are there that we aren't using just yet because, number one, we have to familiarize ourselves. Number two, well, we just have to get better at it. But it's very, very easy. It's like editing a PowerPoint program if you know it. If you know how to build one, that's exactly what this is. And it's really nice. Just to go slide it up. Keep going all the way. These are different pages. You'll see the pictures. All this is much more robust. We can change those pictures anytime, layouts. As far as the positioning, the size here, there, that we need their assistance, but that's not a big deal. They're right on call. And then right here, these are our broadcasts. This is live now. What you see in that left large screen is the live broadcast, or as it's being distributed. And there's the tally on the right so that they can go back, because state law requires us to record, save all comments, anything we put out on social media or on our web pages, we have to maintain a copy of that. So that Civic Rec or Civic Plus is part of that. But these guys did a great job. You can slide it down, slide up that page. I think there's some more. Here's and as you guys look through it, you can, suggest, come up with some creative ideas, things that we want to add. These were just, we kind of took our old web page and made it better, Note that all email addresses, everyone's, even if you have thecityofpinson.com, if you'll notice when you send an email, it says pinsonal.gov now, okay? So if you can on your phone or your devices edit that address, you can. Either one of them will work. Whoever types in, that's going to send them. If she did a search and typed in thecityofpinson.com, it would take her to this page, okay? So everything points to it, but I was real concerned with that because it has all you'll see, and then of course the staff. There's a few, as we go through here, some of these pre-made documents that we have in place, we had to go and edit those. And I'm sure we'll come across a few more here and there. The inspectors, inspection site had to have a little bit of updating or changes, but it's a matter of, I don't want to confuse anyone of how to get to us, or confuse our staff on what they give out as their, both will work, and they're there forever, but we want to get used to that change. So, just wanted to give you that update. Real pleased. I think
Exciting.
it is.
Go to the one where to report things. Open it up.
Go the slide down to the report of
On the
concern,
left, report,
Jaleesa.
yeah,
Click on
now,
that.
all you citizens, if you have a neighbor that's not keeping their property the way it should be, and is hindering your value of yours, that's where you go.
As we've done this before, if there's a concern that anyone has, it doesn't necessarily have to be the yard. It can be the trash pickup, anything like that,
Potholes, yeah,
roadways. Report a concern. There's several options there. Go through it. Pick it back up there, Jaleesa, like you're filling one out. There you go. Now there should be a couple of drop downs. Yeah, and selections. When you go down, slide down up the page a little bit. Yeah. See that? There you go. And it gives a few topics. You can attach photos. A lot of people utilize it. Some people don't know how. We have spent, I think we did one of our council meetings, we went through that, and I went, kind of tried to show, but as Councilor Kirkland says, some of them don't have the knowledge or the ability to do that. So we do have written forms here that can be filled out if we need to, and we can. I did locate those for you too.
Oh,
So,
good, thank you.
but we prefer this way. This record goes to once this is turned in, it sends an email to like 5 different people within the organization plus admin accounts, so that it's a shared mailbox, so that anyone can access that. Even a counselor would give you that, because it's a better documentation that we know. It's on our work. It's on the list. We can report it. We can refer that to Jefferson County, the state. It's a pretty efficient way to transmit information. So Y'all got any questions?
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's, they did a lot of good work. We've had some, yeah, if you don't know, we've had a few issues with the phones here this week. It's a, I'll back up, excuse me. All right. We received a couple of grants last year, if you remember, in the last fiscal year, from the state of Alabama for Innovate Alabama, so that we have free Wi-Fi that was all over this corner here at Bicentennial Park, at the Sport Complex, and at Palmerdale. And when they installed it, it interfered with what we already had in place. I utilized some point-to-point options so that it saved us money and time, where we sent our internet signal from Bicentennial to the community center and connected gates and things like that. It's a cheaper way than the infrastructure, putting the wire in. So I've had them working diligently on that. And when I say diligently, 6 days a week, and I'm calling on Sunday, where are we going to do tomorrow, and I'm not there, but they have resolved it. So what you should see now is Pinson Public, when you're outside, you can log on to this free internet, and it comes up with a splash page that tells you, welcome to Pinson. I think there's some other verbiage. We tried to make it, hey, we're glad you're here in the state of Alabama. We appreciate you. And you can have the free internet access. There's also a private side to that. They haven't divided that. And the private side is for city use, public safety use, so that we can regulate. And they're firewall protected so that no one can get back to our system, okay? The other thing that might enlighten you guys is that those guys don't like to hear me when I call them, IT people. So I made them, with all the internet we have, we've connected all our buildings. That was Joe Cochran's idea, and I helped put all this together, but we have fiber at each location. And we have a managed network that is regulated through here, that we can regulate the internet, the amount of bandwidth that goes out. That in turn gives us the ability that when you log on to this Wi-Fi system here, Pinson Private, which you guys have, others have Pinson Public, as you go to the other facilities, you will automatically connect to the Pinson Private in the other ones. They're all linked together now. Every single facility has it. It was a pet peeve of mine, because if something went wrong, they called Eric on the weekend, the middle, whatever. So I wanted them to straighten that out. And with all this, it transitioned, it fixed my interference with the point-to-points. The new system, the free stuff, they helped me, counselor. The DHCP address was too close to mine, and it was interfering, so it would make mine drop out, come back on, drop out, come back on, and
Something like that.
wow. But anyway, you can't ever take away what you learn, okay? You'll always take that with you. So that's just those are good things that kind of will make things more convenient for our citizens, and that's what we did it for, so that we could provide those opportunities. And the businesses here too, because the businesses are able to, that can connect to that, are free to use it. Now, whether it's fast enough, enough bandwidth for their operation, that's but it's there. So, all right.
It's still very fast.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Thank
Eric,
you.
yeah, any other questions about this subject? I want Eric he's gonna talk about a couple other things, but on this particular thing.
No questions. I was just gonna tell him, thank you very much for your hard work.
Yeah,
I really
you're-
appreciate it.
Enjoy it.
All right, Eric. So, yeah, we're very excited about the website. Got the new URL to be able to go to, and it really looks nice. Appreciate all the work that you guys have done. I know now that, and I'm sure we'll have a couple of things we'll be fine tuning and stuff there on the website. But again, it's user friendly for our staff to be able to do that with. So it's really good. And yeah, he's been working really hard on this internet connectivity thing, because we've had loads of fun trying to get that get that going. So staff and everything else trying to get things connected up, and it drives them crazy. So Eric, a couple other things I know we talked about. One was the light fixture that I believe is on order over at the,
It is on order for the library. That was approved by you guys. It's been ordered. Not sure exactly when it'll be here. You know, he's gonna keep it. C Construction is taking care of that for me, so. You do realize that this is, vacation time too, so I'm sure that there's some lag but, you know, we'll get it in as soon as we get it. I'm sure it'll be here before Buttermane. You know, that's what I anticipate, so.
again, we had to order the part, obviously that light fixture, and it matches that pole and everything will match the other one, so that had to come in on that. So Eric, I don't know, did you have a chance to go over and look at the
I
parking
did.
lot?
I
Okay.
was, that was my next topic too. is that
Okay, good.
We
Go ahead.
developed a
We're gonna talk a little
sinkhole
bit
there
about the
at the
parking.
library in the parking lot, in the handicap or the parking area. We installed drains that came from the courtyard under the building and then through the parking lot and lead to the ditch. And it appears to me, now we're gonna have to cut the concrete, the asphalt up and have them come take a look. But it looks like to me one of those pipes may have busted, or, you know, we only have had just a little bit of rain this year. And, so it could be other reasons, but in other words, that we're gonna have to cordon off some of that. It's not there's a hole that's developed there and you can tell it's a washout from underneath. We'll have the concrete cut out, but at the same time, we should probably have all that sealed and remarked. We probably need to do the same thing at Bicentennial. We haven't had that done. I don't think Bicentennial's been done. I know that the Rock School hasn't been done. So it might be the opportune time if we have to do that repair. So I'll come back next time with some firm pricing, and we'll get with our local contractor and see what he can't do for us, and we'll get that scheduled. But we want to apprise you of that. The mayor put some cones on it. Allison, the librarian, made us aware of it, and it's in between parking spots, but you know how that goes. It's in the hashtag between handicap parking area, but so we're going to have that addressed immediately to get that repaired, and then we'll work on because that's kind of we got to do it no matter what kind of deal. So, but.
Yeah, so if you happen to be over there and there's backhoes or whatever, you know, having to
Yeah.
dig that out, be aware of the fact that these guys are trying to get the hole repaired. The last thing we want to do is have somebody, well, the hole's kind of big. You could definitely step into it now. That's why I wanted to get the cone on there. But joke with folks, we don't want to have anybody, we don't want to lose a Buick or anything inside that hole. So it's starting to sink. So
I
they'll be
think the
going in
only
there
other
and doing
thing I
that.
wanted to tell you about was to make sure that we've completed with that, with the exception of what we have to remove, the remaining part that we need to remove from Palmerdale, that job behind the, cleaning out the ditch, and it really turned out really well. Now, our next phase of that, we're gonna put a environmental cloth down and rip wrap on there, and so that we can maintain that, because we have that right away. But that way we don't have that issue again. But there's a few stumps that they're pretty big. We're trying to navigate that right now. But that turned out really well. I'm really happy with that. And I hope that Palmerdale, the fire departments, we haven't had a deluge, you know, and we will, you know, that fall's coming. So hurricane season's right here on upon us. So we never know when we might. But we've had, you know, we've had 3 times the amount of rain that we normally would have in the last 3 months. So 56 inches of rain, which is normally our yearly total. We're almost there now. So that's a lot of rain. So we're really fortunate that we're not underwater everywhere. But,
Cloud seeding,
In the county.
cloud seeding,
I'm sorry.
Ma'am?
cloud seeding.
Oh, I don't know.
And the county, as some of you may have observed, have gone through, cleaned their pipe.
Yep.
Dressed the Miles Springs ditch, so that will further.
And we have had them, we've had reports, you know, especially along the, I call it Old Pinson, Silver Lake area. There's all those culverts and all that drainage is inadequate, of course, and we know that. I hope everyone's aware of that. But there's been several that are really clogged, and they've come through and tried to clean those out, and really done a pretty good job. I got a few more I need to point them to. So they're responding to it, whether they, you know, and they're covered up like us. If you will notice too, they since they're diverting all the traffic, they tried to make a patch out here, but that's just a temp. You know that. That's not going to fix that issue. So we'll
But
see
it's
how
an
that.
improvement.
It's better than it was. That's exactly right. So they did that today, so that was great. It was an inconvenience for a lot of people, but that's okay. You know, I mean, glad they did it.
We
So,
had to do it.
yeah.
That's great.
Anybody else? Is that all, Mr. Mayor?
I think it is, Eric. I
Okay.
appreciate, again, all your hard work and the progress there on all that.
Yes, sir.
Look forward to that. Thanks. All right, we'll go ahead and open up now to
Where
public.
you want to take the chiefs?
Yeah, let me go ahead and
Before
get the fire.
Richard has to leave?
He's on the radio now.
Okay. Oh, and Allison. Okay, Allison, all right.
I put the reports that you have before you. We had 853 calls for the month of June. Just want to note in July, I know we hadn't got July yet, I want to let y'all know that we responded to 35 calls July the 4th. 26 of those were medical calls, 9 of them were fire-related calls. So dumpster fires and all those kind of things. People like to shoot the fireworks in dumpsters for some reason. I don't understand that because they're supposed to be pretty and go up in the air. Last Wednesday, we had one of our retired captains, Captain Buster Patterson. Some of you probably know, I actually took his spot. He was captain that was over the fleet and over the facilities years ago. He actually was my mentor. We laid him to rest. We actually come through the city here, thanks to Palmerdale, that actually helped us when we come out on 79 because he went to Locust Fort to be buried as his resting place. So I appreciate them doing that. We'll remind everybody our golf tournament is July the 28th. It's coming up, Grayson Valley, 8:30 and 1:30. We still have slots available for that. That's for Ricky Davis, the fireman that was got killed in 2000. It's the 25th anniversary of his death, so we're going to have that up there going on. Mr. Mayor, you mentioned something about the Old Spring Road. I was in a meeting actually today
Okay.
with Mr. Dixon, and I got some bad news to report. But Santa Claus is coming, and that's when the road's going to open.
Oh, my goodness. That's another month from what it was just at the.
Thank you very much. I will have to tell you that. That's my jaw just fell open because we have some mutual aid agreements worked out with Trustful Fire. So we had to go back to them and say, hey, it's going to be Christmas time for us to open. I was in the meeting that he was with Transportation and informed them to go ahead and get those bus routes until December. So I thought they were on schedule. Every time I go by there, it looked like they're on schedule, but he informed today that it's going to be in December before that road opens. And it is a terrible inconvenience for a lot of folks, but I will tell you by the fire districts, we have that area covered. We have Trustful, as I stated, coming over. Actually, Palmerdale is helping us out in the Clay area also, so we do have it covered. So just want to tell you that. If you're under a rock, you were under a rock, and if you didn't see the news about and I'll just say this, and it was this month I probably should be giving this report next month, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you now. The Dollar General on Deerfoot caught on fire. We had multiple agencies there to help us with that fire. It was early in the morning. It was a very hot fire, hot day. Trustful Fire was there with us, Argo Fire, and Palmerdale Fire. We were there from 9 a.m. to almost 2:45 p.m. That was a long scene. It took a lot. We usually rotate our crews out about every 20 minutes. We rotate them out about every 10 to 15 minutes. So I want to thank you. Palmerdale actually sent 4 personnel over there, an engine and their chief came. He stayed right there with us the whole time. And I want to thank them. Things are really good with us working together. Y'all know my saying, I'm going to say it again. It's not what's on the side of that truck. We're here to serve the citizens, so that's what we're here for. Any questions from the council or mayor?
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks for all y'all do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Minnesota.
Richard, then Allison.
Richard, did you want to share anything? Okay. I start to say, we can tell you your run count. You had 154.
Yeah, I was gone for 2 weeks on vacation, so I've come back into a lot of different we had, the month of June, we had 154 calls. It's been pretty busy, starting to get steady again, especially with summer and the, hot temperatures and everything. We haven't yet seen the spike in heat-related, emergencies yet, but we expect that to come in the next couple of months also, let's get into the heat of summer. I can reemphasize, doesn't matter what's on the truck, like what he said. You know, we're here to serve the community, and you got two good departments that are serving the city of Pinson, that we can rely on each other. So, wish I had more to give you tonight, but everything seems to be going well, and that's about it.
So what's your take on the water abatement that we've done up there next to Station 1? How's it look to you?
It's amazing compared to what it was.
Okay.
It is, once everything gets complete, now if I'm not mistaken, I believe there's some riprap that's eventually gonna be brought in for it and everything. Once it's done and taken care of, I think it'll alleviate all the problems that we've had over the, at least 35 years that I've been with the department about the water coming in, so.
I don't know why y'all didn't appreciate the fact that the Swiftwater boat could be tested right in the bay, you know, with the flooding.
Back in the day, you had as much water coming in
That's
the
right.
bay as you did going out through the creek. Yeah, but we do appreciate the assistance of the city and everything in helping us to get that thing fixed.
Thanks, appreciate that, Richard.
Thank you.
So Mr. Sanders keeps saying Allison, and I'm like, well, I don't see her. So you're hiding back there in the back. So yes, I think there's some type of summer reading program going on, so. Just kidding, of course.
My name is Allison Scanlon. I'm the director of the Pinson Public Library. And I do want to give you a quick update about our summer reading program. We currently have just over 1,000 people registered and participating in the program. That is the highest it's been since 2020. So we are very excited about that. We have had a whole lot of fun this summer. Next week is our last full week of programming. We have something every day next week, including, I'm going to plug in for the Bat Lady. She's coming to Pinson. I've been trying to get, oh, is it not on? Sorry, I didn't realize you turned it off. Sorry, studio audience. Or I guess virtual audience, I didn't get to hear that. But the Bat Lady is coming. We've been trying to book her. She books up 2 and 3 years in advance. Wow. She is the leading expert on bats in Alabama, Vicki Smith, and she is coming to our library on Tuesday at 10 a.m., and she is awesome. If you don't know, bats are really important to the system, especially here in Pinson. The bats from Ruffner Mountain fly over almost nightly to Turkey Creek to feed. It's a whole thing. I'm really excited about the Bat Lady coming. But yes, we have 1 full week left of programming, and then we start our finale week, wrapping up with our big all-ages finale on the 31st. So yes, summer reading is going, and we're very happy, very busy. It's flying by. There's been a lot of discussion this week and in a couple of weeks prior to this, but especially this week, about programming for seniors.
I'm glad you said that, because I've told some folks, I said, the library's been doing that, so
yes, and it's been frustrating that there hasn't been mention of the existing programming that the library does offer our senior community, because we do. For example, every week, every Tuesday, we have Tech Tuesday. That is a program. It is from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Every single week, every Tuesday. It is designed to help one-on-one computer technology assistance for our senior population and any other adult who might need it. I go and ask questions all the time. So we have a weekly program that is senior focused, I will say, for their technology needs. We also have a monthly program called Having the Prime of Our Lives. This was a group that was built from the ground up by our circulation specialist, Sean. She has put a lot of work into this program. It is a monthly program, and she regularly has between 20 and 30 attendees each month. That is huge for adults in the programming world for a library our size. They have done everything from senior nutrition to creative endeavors, writing, acting. They have also looked at budgeting, finances. They have a wide variety of topics that they cover. Of course, that's always free for anyone to attend. Those are typically on the third Thursday of each month at 10 a.m. We also offer a coffee and crafts program every other month. It's on Wednesdays, typically around 10 a.m. We have coffee, we have water, we have some snacks, and we have some sort of a craft that's pretty easy for just about anybody to do, and it is extremely senior friendly. In fact, we design and make our decisions about that craft project around improving dexterity and other arthritis issues even, because I have problems, so I think about that a lot. We also offer every month, we either have a bunco night or a bingo night. We alternate them back and forth. Our last bingo night, we had 35 people come to that program, and we had a lot of fun. Bunco is a absolute joy. If no one has ever played bunco, it's amazing, and they are so into it. People bring their own dice. They bring their own pins to keep their own scores and everything. It's very exciting. The city does offer things for our senior population. And I just wanted to make sure if people in this room or people who are watching, if you're not aware of that, we are doing those things. If anyone has any ideas on things they would like us to try, we are, very excited and always willing to try new things. I am very excited about TP and all the work that she's going to be doing. And I told her, I was like, we have a built-in audience ready to go. When these senior programs launch, we can refer them to you, and I look forward to working together in the future on that as well. So we try to serve everyone in Pinson, from, a lot of people think the library and they think little kids. And we do a lot of stuff for little kids, but we try not to leave anyone behind.
I'm glad you said that. Like I say, I have tried to tell people that. I'm like, well, we got a whole lot of stuff there going on with that. And I'm also, we have a long history of great cooperation between the Park and Rec Department and the library. They do programming together. They have events where they're able to get some synergy there. I know the Boo Bash has been regular, and that's always a big deal there between the two departments. So, again, but it's not just the Boo Bash, it's a whole bunch of other stuff too on that.
Right.
So anyway, sometimes we just have to do a little more point of emphasis about what's going on, and we'll continue to try to get the word out better about what's happening.
Yeah, you can find out information about, the library's events. We have Facebook page, we have Instagram, we have Threads, we have a Pinterest page, we have YouTube, we have a website, we have text reminder services, we have email reminder services, we have paper calendars, we have an app. So there's all kinds of ways to know about what we have going on. So I encourage the people in the community to, take a look at what some of the services that are currently being offered in their community are, and, come participate or give us some feedback, what you want to see, because we're always open to trying new things and, getting new people in.
Allison,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Allison, thank you, and apologies for overlooking those programs, because I can attest, I have seen Bingo Night full, and you do a great job of marketing very well. I think I see at least the library post at least 3 times a week, if not more. So thank you so much for what you do. I don't want you to feel like it's been overlooked, and continue to do more. And I really look forward to the partnership with you and TP.
Yes, thank you.
Well, Allison has it, it's changing to an event, and the picture made me think of it. Confirm the date. I believe this year's Rock School reunion is August the 9th.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so if you ever attended the Rock School, be on the lookout for those announcements about registration, and that's handled through, I guess, really through our historical commission
Yes.
or society. But be aware that is coming up August the 9th, so be on lookout for those further announcements and what you can bring and so forth. But that is August the 9th.
Yes, that's
Thank you.
correct. Yeah, I confirmed that with Mr. Moss.
Okay, thanks.
a
The
few days
picture
ago.
reminded me, and then you
Oh, yeah.
reminded me, so thank you for that moment, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, I saw that photo go up. I think that was made when I was in school there. Well, the one part that had not changed, I know it's not the same these days, was I noticed in that shot was made in the summer, the windows were open. And I told people about how those windows used to slide out, and there was a little more trees and shrubs in my day, but there was occasion when those windows would pop open and a student or two might actually have snuck out through those windows on the lower end, not on the high end, but fond memories of that.
Did
so.
you?
No, I did not go out the windows. I prefer the doors, but there was a few. In those days, there used to be some stores nearby, and they would sneak out.
You better play the
That was
field.
yes, quickly. That was the air conditioning system in those days. So if you had to get those windows open, or you were going to be hot. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anyone who doesn't have a library card, we thoroughly encourage you to get over there and get signed up. You don't happen to know how many library cards have been activated during the summer reading program, do you, off the top of your head?
88 last time I checked.
88, that's great. So it's also a great time of year, like I say, for new folks to be able to come on board and get their card. So that's always exciting. Let's see here. Okay, now we will move on to public comment. If there's anyone that would like to speak, this would be your opportunity to speak. If there's not any public comment, we're going to wrap this meeting up. But so when you step forward, please state your name and address for the for our clerk.
My name is Valerie Jackson. I live at 217 St. John Drive Northwest, which is in the Heather Point community. And my complaint is, we are being charged by Waste Management they don't do the job. They at first started, the first month was $81 and something, and then in less than a year's time, and I understood COVID was in place, and so a lot of things went up. So it went up to $96.30. I get a bill yesterday for $101. And do not get the service to tell you to have your can out at 6 o'clock in the morning. It may be 10 o'clock, 10, 11 o'clock in the daytime before they come. So when I called Waste Management, they said that the state council set the prices. When I called state council, the person I got said, no, Waste Management set the price. So I would like to know who sets the price.
Okay, so basically what we have here is that we have a contract with Waste Management to provide the service. And so it was done through a bid process, which we had a public bid, and through that public bid, then the price was set by that. And basically, they were the lowest bidder. The contract expired, but we had the ability to be able to extend the contract with an inflation clause. And so the price goes up every year. And Eric, I meant to touch base with you. I'd heard, I've not received my bill for the quarter yet, but it went up by how much? $5 a year. So, I'm sorry, $5 a quarter. So it went up by $20 a year due to an inflation adjustment, basically, is what's taken place. So we do know it's very expensive. That's been an issue.
My question to you all is, we don't get good service from Waste Management. Why do I have to pay if they don't pay their employees enough to come to work on time and do the job?
So are they picking up the trash on the day of collection?
It might be next day.
Okay. Now, sometimes, I don't know where you are on the route. Sometimes, basically, they'll set the day and say, okay, you need to have it out that morning because that's when they start the pickup. Mm-hmm. And then if they don't finish by that evening, then they may end up having to come back and finish up the following day. So sometimes, if they're there within the day they say or the next day, now this is based on the level of complaints, and we have a young lady in the back, and she receives a lot of the complaints, and she has the secret decoder ring and everything to be able to talk to the staff over at Waste Management to get them back over there to actually pick up the trash. We consider that to be a pretty good day if they're there within 48 to 36 hours or when they're supposed to be there. We have a lot of trouble, though, on occasion where they don't show up on day 2, day 3, day 4. That's where we really run into trouble. But they are picking up your trash, though, weekly.
Not when they say they're gonna pick it up.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm aware, I know how bids are made, and I'm just wondering, I'm thinking somebody's getting kickback because they ain't win the bid every year.
Well, the bid is a multi-year contract there on that.
I
It's,
understand
it's
that.
it's
Well,
like
We will be, is that March?
So it is, the latest iteration of the contract was renewed for 2 years with the opportunity to extend for a 3rd year. But if we're not happy, we can get out of that for that 3rd year, if I recall
Yeah.
correctly. So it is time for us to start reviewing that now. So, you know, it will be up to the next council most likely to start reviewing that. However, we have some decisions to make because we understand people aren't happy, and quite frankly, neither are we.
I mean.
And there could be
what-
some options as far as dropping one of the cans or some of the extra services that is in our contract, as I understand it, Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Okay.
You mean the next contract, but right now,
Correct.
yeah, right.
Yeah, once we get into those trash discussions, it gets to be quite detailed, and you begin then to see some of the issues that take place. I think if you were to compare the prices that are paid by some of the neighboring areas, you would find that that's very competitive for what we actually get. And I did hear reports of some folks witnessing some recycled cans being dumped into the wrong type truck. And so if anybody sees that, please let us know. We'd love to be able to find out what's going on that. There was a time period where there was some stuff having to be sent straight to the landfill, but that should not be happening again. So if it is, we need to know because we need to talk to them about that particular aspect.
We have 3 different cans.
You have 3,
One for
correct?
garbage, one for recycle, and one for trash. I'm the only person on my street, I don't know what to do behind, that use to recycle. Nobody else does. I do. So I do not understand how they can win the bid every year. It's not. I don't understand that. These people are not giving good service. Yet still, that's who we have to deal with every year. And I'm to the point now, I'm very upset about this because I don't think it's fair for them to keep increasing the price. And they do it every year, every other year they go up. I don't understand that. And when I first moved over here, and I understand 25 years is a lot, but when I first moved over here, I didn't pay $40-some for every 3 months. Now you up to $101, and then Waste Management said y'all are responsible for the price. And I called the city council and the person I talked to. First of all, you say you're on your hour from 8 to 4:30. Nobody answered that phone. So I dialed, just kept dialing, and I just hit numbers. I knew I wasn't in the right place. But he told me whoever I talked to was the director of some department. He said it's best to come to the council meeting tonight and explain how you feel. He said, I understand that you're upset about this. I said, sure, I am.
Yeah, we'll be looking at it. I'll get up to speed on the date. when the
Yeah,
date is.
When is it?
Yeah, it's
When is it?
February is when we're able to either extend or terminate the contract that
Okay.
we're currently under. So
Somebody else.
by the time of the election, the next council will be able to start considering that, and we'll make some appropriate decisions.
Yeah,
I
there
appreciate
is always the possibility that we can make some changes. There's also the possibility that changes will be made and it will get much worse. We had a real big problem when the last change occurred. It took about a year, I think, to get the bugs worked out. I'll tell you a little funny story here on this. I had opportunity to travel internationally over the last couple of weeks, and came back into town. And while I was with my church on a mission trip over in a city called Hatfield. It's about 25 miles north of London. And while I was there, the pastor that I was working with, he made arrangements for me to have a meeting with the mayor there of Hatfield. So I went over to their city hall and got a chance to visit and look around and see the different things that were going on. And we had some discussions about challenges that face cities today and everything. And it was so funny because he's one of the things, and they use a different terminology over there, but he said, well, these dust bins are always a constant problem. And so, of course, what he meant was the trash receptacles and how getting garbage pickup was an issue. So just let it be known that even all the way in Europe, they complain about their garbage pickup. So we're not alone in the world.
Thank you for listening to me.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anyone else?
Tracy Thompson, 6408 Sunrise Lane in Pinson. I was going to ask a couple of questions after she spoke, and I know that you said that the trash renewal was supposed to be coming up in February. So I know firsthand that I too have 3 trash receptacles. We have regular everyday trash, then you have your recycle, then you have your yard debris. I have called several times just asking questions to them before because we don't use all 3 of our cans. And they said, well, we can come get them, but then you're still responsible for the full amount. So we just kept all 3. And I know that in my household, we don't keep everything separated. Everything goes to whatever can is empty. And I have actually spoken to one of the gentlemen that have picked up, and I know for a fact that they don't recycle. I have seen them to pick up trucks. They have picked up all of our cans all at the same time. I have seen them on other streets picking up everybody's cans all at the same time. So if your contract reads, however it's stated, and it says that one of the services is to have recycling, obviously then they think that we're paying for recycling, or you got yard debris. However, so if they have discontinued that, is that not a reason to break the contract early? Instead of us all waiting until February? Because they're not holding up their end of the bargain. So that is a service that is supposed to take place, and it obviously is not. So instead of everybody being drug out and being unhappy and trash not getting picked up, one lady, it was on social media, they threw her whole can away. So if those are issues, and that is a service that's not taking place, then that should be a contract breaker.
Well, so first off, we have about 50% recycling participation on my street, and it's a different truck that comes by and picks up the thing. So that's why I'm saying if someone is witnessing a different truck coming, we certainly need to know in the locations. We can have a conversation with them about it. But yes, we do. I'll say this because we've had issues in the past with the trash collection. We've looked at the possibility. I believe everyone on this council might have been around when some of this happened. We looked at the possibility of breaking the contract. Those contracts are very tightly written. You could get into some serious civil legal issues when trying to break the contract. The other thing is that trash collection is not something you just pick up the phone and have somebody come out and start doing it. As a matter of fact, we were surprised sometimes when we do the pre-bid, and because I've been through it at least twice. Mr. Sanders, I know you were involved in it a few times yourself. We'll get with the companies, and they'll seem to have an interest in being able to do it. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, we're going to do it. And then come bid day, they don't even turn in a bid. And the reality is because Mr. Winfrey has done some research. We've looked at the possibility of bringing trash collection in-house and actually having that to be a city department. One thing that we would have to do is, of course, we'd have to buy our own equipment. There's a lead time, though, to be able to get the trucks. So you've got to basically plan ahead and say, okay, we're going to go in the trash business. Eric, do you remember what the lead time was? Was it 12 months, 18 months?
I think
I
it
thought
was
it was
18 months.
Yeah, 18 months ahead of time to be able. It's kind of similar to the fire service. I think fire trucks now are 3 years, but it takes a while now to be able to get the equipment. So if you suddenly don't have your vendor anymore, you're not going to be able just to run down to the local car dealership and say, hey, give me the garbage truck option. They don't have that available.
Obviously.
So suddenly you're found with no truck. So the companies also factor that into their equation, and they stand there and they say, okay, look, they find out about how many deliveries or actually these are pickups that they're gonna make, they know about the average amount of trash that is picked up on that, and they know how long it would take to do the route. And then, of course, the drive down to the landfill and everything for dumping it. And they know, okay, we're gonna be using this truck, and it's gonna take X number of days to do the city of Pinson. And if they don't have the capacity, or they're not willing to take on the additional expense of buying the truck, hiring the workers, and doing all that other jazz, they just don't bid it. And so as a result, you suddenly find yourself in a very narrow market. It's a little bit controlled by the waste service providers. So, you know, I don't like it any more than anybody else does. I pay the same amount as what the citizens do, the rest of the citizens do. But the fact is that this is a market that is very lack of competition, I guess, is a way to describe it. So, I'd like to see us potentially look at the possibility of bringing it in-house again. But then again, of course, we face the issues of we have to do the billing, we have to be able to do the personnel, the maintenance of the trucks and everything else, the debt service on those vehicles, the tip fees and everything else. What was very interesting, though, that what we learned in that, because Eric and I had a lot of discussions with these guys about this, and we were talking to the people in the that actually sell the trucks and do all the things. I had meetings with those folks and everything. I was surprised at how little markup there actually is in the trash business. Eric and I can pretty much tell you that what they do is about $20 a quarter less than what it costs to actually provide the service. So you would think, oh man, they're getting a big markup on that stuff. Look how much money we're paying now $100 a quarter on that. You'd be like, oh wow, they're probably making $60, $70 a pop on that. In reality, they're only making about 20 bucks. And we know because we actually got the numbers to see, okay, how much does it cost to tip this? How much does it cost to run that truck? We know now how much the drivers make. It was incredible what they're having to go through to be able to get the drivers. That's usually when the issue with the current provider, when days are missed, somebody's out, they have a hard time getting drivers. During COVID was a disaster zone because somebody get COVID, they'd be sick, and they couldn't get somebody else to come back in there. So the pricing, even if we took it in-house and we passed the entire savings along to the people, probably would only amount to about $20 a quarter. So again, it's just not as great as what everybody would like to think.
So you're saying that if y'all decide to do it in-house, it would take normally about 18 months, so you would have to time it accordingly, so there's a possibility that however your timing is, it would be another probably 24 months or whatever that we would be stuck into a contract. So I know that that's something that y'all are gonna have to decide, but I will definitely argue with you, because you may get recycling picked up on a particular day, and they may be sending it out, because they also come out to my house to pick up recycling on a particular day. But I also know on the week prior, they pick up all of my trash at the same time, and it's all going into the same truck, so that it's not being recycled.
Oh, no, that's on the week before. So the way it works is that the recycling is picked up every other week, and then the yard waste is picked up every other week.
well-
But the yard waste actually goes into the very same truck as the trash.
I'm not worried about that. I'm just saying that if it's supposed to be recycled, it's not being recycled. It's all going in together, and you cannot make me think that they're taking all of that and dumping it somewhere, and they've got somebody out there going through and pulling out tin cans and pulling out glass and pulling out metal, because they're just not doing it. I've talked to some of the drivers, and I know for a fact that they're not recycling. So there's just that issue, just to let you know. I know that there's other companies that are offering to come in individually and pick up our trash. So if that's an option, I'm sure I will pass that information on to you, because that is something that my household is looking at as well.
Now, they do have an exclusive provider. They are the exclusive provider for residents of the city of Pinson. These gypsy trash collectors are operating illegally.
Okay, well, you know.
We've turned
Good
them over to
service.
legal and having that worked on. So.
All right, well, and there's also several other things that probably need to be worked on that people are doing that they're not supposed to be doing.
Okay, I believe
So-
you're.
No, I have a couple other questions. One of the
Very
other
brief,
things
please.
is I could have, if you hadn't rambled on, but, so on the new website, is there a link, for the library, for your things, or do they have to go automatically to the library? There is like, okay, that was one question I was gonna ask. And another question is, I know that you and I spoke on June 30th, and then you spoke to me again on July the 1st regarding the bridge on Highway 75. And I know that you said that it was blocked completely underneath. Tonight, you ended up stating that AlDOT has came out. So they've came out since that period. Do you know when they came out to look at the bridge?
It was clear when I got back into the country, but
I
Did you
noticed
see
it
what day it
Mondays
was?
being free flowing,
yeah.
Monday or
so-
Tuesday.
Of this week, so,
That's when I noticed it was free flowing.
oh, okay.
I can't say what day they came.
Okay, so once they were able to remove that, so that means that they removed it, and so the water I know that there was an issue with the water flowing slowly. I mean, that was what the game plan was, to do it, so they were able to remove all of it at one time? Is that?
I don't know, because I wasn't here.
Okay.
So, I have not, there's not been any word of another fish kill and a whole bunch of other stuff, so I'm assuming they did it properly.
Okay, well, I was just curious, because I know that, several of the residents were they're excited that the water is progressing, it's receding very rapidly, and so I just assumed that once that blockage was removed, then a lot more of that water would
Okay,
recede.
so there actually were two beaver dams in play, one underneath the Highway 75.
Yes.
And then that's basically what I would call the second lake. And then the first lake, which is the larger one, which is the one that goes right up the street here, that's the one for the pipes that are underneath the old railroad bed, so.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I was just making sure, because I know that they're trying to clean up their property, and instead of them jumping the gun, to sort of speak, and making sure that a lot of that is already being eliminated as far as the blockage. I would hate for them to start any kind of repairs, and then that has not been taken care of, and then we say we have a heavy downfall of rain, and it would back up. So that was just my question on that. I was just asking, because I know you said that it was blocked, and then you mentioned that it was not, so.
I would not anticipate that water returning back to that level, based on the fact that they're out there every 1 to 2 days monitoring the beaver situation now. And then in the next few months, they will be installing the bypass pipe, the beaver deceiver. So I don't anticipate that problem returning.
Okay, well, good. All right, thank you.
Was there anyone else? Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are hereby adjourned at 8:27 PM.